Sharon Lokedi, 2018 NCAA 10,000 meter champion, pulls off just an absolute stunner. Gordon,
Yes.
she wasn't in your top five. She wasn't in my top five. If you can show me your top five from before the race and it has Sharon Lokedi in it, I want to see it because she had long odds to win this race. When she was hanging around with a few miles to go and she was shoulder to shoulder with Salpeter and Gebre Selassie, that's the gold medalist and bronze medalist from this summer's World Championships. I thought, man, if she can just hang on, this is going to be a great day for her.
Yeah.
And she did not settle. And I give her all the credit in the world because it would be so easy after running 24 miles just to say, oh my gosh, this is my debut marathon. I just want to hang on and get top three. That would be a career-changing event. She wasn't satisfied. She went and won it. I am just completely stunned that she did this.
Yeah, and a debut too. Like, obviously we
In
knew
New
Sharon
York.
looked in New York, which is hard course, but you look at her career and like she was, she was good, but it wasn't like a watch out when Sharon is in the pro stage, she's going to dominate. And especially because she was a Kenyan athlete, it's hard to like excel as a Kenyan athlete in the long distance. Like the competition is fierce. And so you're like, yeah, you're going to be great in college. She had a good year at Kansas, but like it's going to be very monumental for you to make that next step to the Kenyan elite. And now in her first race, she does it, and she does it in like very impressive fashion. It just recalibrates your whole vision that you had for her, post college career. She went from like, yeah, you're that former NCAA athlete who's good, who can, win a few prize monies here and there on road races. You'll, be in the mix in some US based 10Ks.
Right.
Now to like, no, I'm a major marathon champion, and hey, the country of Kenya needs to like recognize me as like one of their go-to athletes when it comes to picking teams, because
I doubt they had her on the radar. I doubt that this race. I doubt they had her on the radar because they have a lot of people to choose from. But this reaffirmed for me a couple things. One, what you are on the track or in cross country is not indicative of how you're going to be on the roads. What you are in the roads, on the shorter distance in the roads, is not indicative of what you necessarily going to be when it comes time to run a marathon. Because she had run a 68-minute half. There were so many women in this field who had much better half marathon personal bests than Lokedi. Didn't matter. We went up to 26.2 miles. And to top it off, what you are or what you can be as a marathoner is just going to be different in New York City. When you're talking major marathons, the course is challenging. There are no rabbits. There's a lot of unpredictability out there. And you're more likely to see upsets here than you are going to see them in London and Berlin and Chicago. That's just the reality of it. So when you add all those things up, it's like, yeah, why should we limit someone's potential over 26.2 based on how fast they ran a 10K or how fast they ran 13.1? Like there's still a lot of running left after that point. But the thing, I'll go back to again, the thing that impressed me the most is just her reluctance to settle, her desire to go beyond. And because if you lined her up, who was the other high-profile debutante, or who was the high-profile debutante? Helen Obiri.
Helen Obiri, yeah.
5 track medals, a silver this summer, a super fast half marathon, right? And Lokedi got the better of her. You put the resumes next to each other, take the names away, everybody's picking Obiri in that case. But it didn't matter. And this is what makes the New York City Marathon, Boston, this is what makes marathoning fun, is that true upsets can happen. And it was well earned for her. I'm so curious to see what happens next with her career, where she goes next. But to come out of the gate and do this was just I thought it was just mind-blowing to me. I did not have her on my card. Like when she was hanging around, I thought, great, that's going to be an awesome story how she gets third. Did not fathom that she was going to win this thing.
Yeah. And, that shows the uniqueness of a debut. You don't know what you're going to get in a debut. You could get a incredible performance like this. You could get an average performance, and you can get like a well, welcome to the marathon. Like for Shadrach
Yeah,
Kipchirchir, that was a
yeah.
welcome to the marathon moment. You know, for
Mhm.
Galen Rupp, it was I'm here and I'm ready when he made his marathon debut at the trials in 2016.
Yeah,
Like you can go in either direction and it's an unknown. And there's no way you can truly tell because they've never done it before. You can look at all the half marathons and we looked at Helen O'Beary. We looked at her road races and I was like, man, she's looking kind of good. I think she's going to run well. And she
yeah,
gets sixth and she loses to Sharon Lokedi, who's like super not naive, but like just like no pressure, no expectations, and then she runs freely and is able to get a win
yeah.
that this ain't winning like some no, I'm trying to I don't want to dunk on like a random city's marathon. But this is one of the 6 most important marathons, right? So
Yeah.
like this
I
is a
think people
big
know
deal.
that.
Yeah.
Guys, the New York City Marathon is a big deal according to Gordon.
What
So don't
was
say
like the
otherwise.
I'll dunk on my own hometown, the Lehigh Valley Marathon. It's not winning the Lehigh
Listen,
Valley Marathon.
and it's part about the name of the marathon, but I'm also looking at who's in the marathon because we
She
know how
beat.
good
Yeah.
Salpeter's a 217 runner. Gebrselassie is a 218 runner. They've also performed well in championship style races this summer. Fourth, Edna Kiplagat, veteran, but is always in that top 2 or 3. She's legit. Viola Cheptu on the podium last year in New York City. O'Beary, we already talked about how good she is. Like, this was a legit field. This was not one
Yeah,
of
it
those
wasn't
where
watered down.
everybody went to Berlin and Chicago this year. Yes, women's marathoning is so deep, and you could say, "Oh yeah, there's, Chepengedich isn't there, and what about Koskai and all that?" Yeah, you could say that. That's fine, but there's still other really good people here, and Lokedi beat them.
And what makes this one even more impressive, in my opinion, a lot of times you get wins over stars because the stars like DNF or they just have a
Yeah,
bad
yeah,
day, right? And it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
did you beat them or did their bad day help you win? Like
Mhm.
Salpeter and Geber Selassie, where they were in it, like she beat them by 7
Oh yeah,
seconds and
yeah,
like
yeah,
15 seconds.
yeah.
There
It was
was
a
not
battle
like
in Central
a,
Park.
yeah, there wasn't like a, yep, it wasn't your day. Like it was
Mhm.
their day. This was a day for either of those two to win, and Lokedi just had a better was able to beat them on their day, which I think
Yeah,
means something. It's like, is
no.
your win over Kipchoge at that London Marathon when he got like 7th
Mhm.
or 8th? Is that
Yeah,
win a real win over Kipchoge or a win over Kipchoge where Kipchoge gets second and you beat him by 10 seconds? That feels like a real win. And I think that's what Lokedi
yeah.
has here. She has legitimate wins, not well, if they didn't have a side stitch or whatever, and
Mhm.
they were dealing with an injury, like she straight beat them.
Yeah, yeah. Although I will say, any win over Kipchoge you take and you frame it,
That's true. You
you
frame it.
put it up on the wall. You're like
That's
7th place,
NFL
London
best.
Marathon.
You, you
You
make
put
one
it
of
in
these
this
plaques.
frame. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and it doesn't even say 7th place. It just says 1 place ahead of Kipchoge.
Yeah.